Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday, and all of our guests today brought to you by Al Chris Manson and Company up at the beautiful, the gorgeous Whistler Golf Club. Reminder, golfers, tee times can be booked online for any time during 2025. WhistlerGolf.com. Game 4 Stanley Cup Final tonight in Sunrise. The Panthers up 2-1 after their impressive 6-1 win in Game 3 way back on Monday. Remember that?
Why so long?
Here to talk about it from an Oiler perspective, Jason Strudwick from the Got Yer Back Podcast up in Northern Alberta, former NHL defenseman, former Canuck, former Oiler. Jason, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys making out?
Very well. We're wondering what's going to happen goaltender-wise tonight. Pickard, Skinner, who's going to get the start?
You know, I think I felt, at least at the end of the game, and I haven't seen anything differently, but I felt that head coach Chris Knobloch kind of gave the endorsement to Stuart Skinner. Mm-hmm. Was Stuart Skinner the reason they lost that game? No. He also wasn't the reason they won it. There was a lot of other things going on in that lineup and in that game where the Oilers really got away from who they are. They tried to be, I think, someone or something they aren't, and something that Florida wants you to become, which is, you know, just involved in every scrum and fight and that's not who the Oilers are. And I'm not even talking about the third period. But they got away from it, so I don't point the finger at Stu Skinner for that loss.
When Stu Skinner is on his game, what do you notice? When he's not on his game, what do you notice?
I think Stu Skinner's the type of goalie that likes to have predictability in front of him. So that means off the rush. That means kind of coming out of the corner. And not that you need to know where every shot's coming from all the time, but at least an idea of where it's coming from. And when he starts feeling that it's a bit scrambly, I think his game becomes more scrambly. When he's at his best, he's squared the puck. He's a blocker, right? He's not flying all over the net like a Dominic Hasek would. He's a blocker. And I think when the Oilers are not in control in front of them, I think it affects Stu Skinner quite a bit. So what I look for tonight from the Oilers, and this isn't something that they haven't done, this is something they have done, especially look back at the Vegas and Dallas series, they've locked teams down. I mean, we've seen them give up 2, 3, 4 shots a period against teams because they're so good defensively, and they waited. I think that they were so excited and so intent on trying to score and run everyone and, you know, prove that they're the champions. I think they got away from what really makes them good. And that includes the physicality that, you got to be physical in Florida, but you're not going to intimidate them. You're not going to run them out of the building. Especially when Zach Hyman's not there. So I think that this group will be way calmer tonight and more defensively focused than they have been the first 3 games because, I don't know, it's like 14 or 15 goals in 3 games against, and that's good for U13, but not necessarily win the Stanley Cup.
Hey, Jason, Troy Stecher is back in the lineup for Edmonton tonight. Boy, he gave them some quality minutes in the Dallas series. What do you like about Troy and his addition tonight?
I felt sick for him when he came out of the lineup. I know that position, right? It's not that you're playing bad. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just that the guy coming back is better. And Troy said that. He said, you know what, it's not fun, but this guy's better, and I want to win a Stanley Cup, that guy being Ekholm. So now it's changed a bit. You know, Klingberg, he's slowed down, or the game's gone faster, and they're putting pressure on him, and he loves to slow the game down, and he kind of hasn't had his groove going. So I think it's Stecher going in there. He'll probably play with Nurse. He and Nurse do well together, right? He seems to gel with Darnell Nurse, and then other lines will kind of stack up as they do. But I think with Stecher, he's a little bit faster than Klingberg. He plays a little bit more direct game, and he's going to get the puck moving quicker. You know, I think it was game 3, the third goal, where Klingberg had it and just kind of held on to it. And I get it. That's how he plays. But there's an opportunity for him to stop behind the net. Instead, he keeps going, gets hit by Barkov, runs into the ref, who threw a really nice hit, and then 2 seconds later, Reinhart scores. That puck has to be moved really quick so that Florida can't get on their forecheck or kind of, start the forecheck, and that'll frustrate them.
Hey, Jason, this Oilers team has had some big losses. Remember the LA first 2 games, right? Vegas scores with 4 seconds left. This team has showed the ability to respond from a bad loss in these playoffs. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. This was the worst loss of the playoffs. They hadn't played that bad since the game 1 and 2 in LA. But this team is like my buddy Jamie. Jamie's always talking about getting in shape and losing weight, but he's his own biggest enemy, right? He goes to the gym, then goes home and has 6 beers, or stops for a Dairy Queen Blizzard. He just makes it hard on himself. So this Oilers team, that's what they did. Look at last year, got down 3-0 the series. Go back to the first series this year, down 2-0. People are calling for everyone's heads to roll. They do bounce back. They are resilient. In the last game, I think Connor and Leon had combined 3 shots against. I think the power play wasn't dynamic. The penalty kill hasn't been great for a while. They've had 2 days to think about it, which is probably good and bad. But they've had an opportunity to kind of think about what they can do differently and kind of get their emotions under control. I really think this will be a different game tonight from the Oilers. A couple keys: move the puck quicker. As D-men, get to the neutral zone quicker. Make Florida's D-men turn around and go get the pucks. It's not like it's Cale Makar on the other side there. Dump it just behind him, not hard rimming it. Just dump it behind so they have to turn, and then you can get your hits on them as they turn and go get that puck. So lots of things they can improve on, but 100% they're a resilient group. And game 4 to 7, that's when they really hit their stride. So here we are tonight.
Well, you said the PK hasn't been great. Well, maybe don't give Florida 11 power play chances, of which they scored 3 on, Jason. And Evander Kane, 2 penalties in the first 8 minutes. Got to stay out of the box tonight. Would you agree?
Yeah, so there's different kinds of penalties, in my opinion. So there's a penalty where you run someone and board them, and that's an investment, right? We'll kill that one. We got that one, Kaner. You just ran, whoever, Ekblad. We'll kill it. There's another one where you're cross-checking someone or slashing someone in the face. And to me, those are unnecessary, and they don't do anything. Yeah, they might give a guy a scar too, but that might give him more street cred for having those scars, but it doesn't do anything for the game. So you really got to be wise and think about when and how you're going to take penalties. Dude, that started last game, that is not what the Oilers have been, and it's not what they are. They're a hard, heavy team, but they don't usually take penalties like that. So that's, guys, honestly, that's an easy thing to clean up. That's an easy thing to talk about amongst that doesn't come from the coach, comes from the teammates. Say, guys, we can't take those penalties. So I think that'll be something that'll be removed from that game tonight for the Oilers for sure.
Jason, after the Game 3, I went on air and predicted the Oilers are going to win this series in 6 because I think that Connor McDavid, more than ever, and he always comes out on fire, but more than ever, he's going to come out on fire because there was an element of, do I want to say embarrassment? The hit by Ekblad and the way he fell, it was Keystone Cop stuff. No points in that game, just 2 shots. Draisaitl, similar stats. What do you expect from Connor McDavid tonight and for the rest of the series, given what happened in Game 3?
Well, I predicted the Oilers in 5, so that's unlikely to happen now, unless something changes in the rules. But Connor McDavid, I think it was after Game 2 or Game 3, I can't remember, but he said we haven't shown our best game yet, and I believe that. I truly believe that. So, they're scoring enough goals, especially in the first 2 cup games, but some of the defensive lapses they've given up, that is uncharacteristic of this group. You saw Connor McDavid be quite, riled up when asked about if this team can play defense. He's like, yeah, we can, and we have been doing it for a long time. So I think there's a lot of pride in that for the Oilers. On the flip side, though, are Connor and Leon and their ability to score. Mm-hmm. Florida's good. I mean, they're really good. They have layer after layer after layer of defense and defending. The centers are above them all the time, and it's hard. But he just needs a little squeak of light, and same with Leon, to make something happen. So my word for him is being patient, right? Keep working, fine, look for opportunities, but when you get the opportunity, bang, you capitalize. And we saw that in earlier in the series. So, it's 2-1. It feels a lot worse than that because of the loss last game. But at the end of the day, it's a loss. And the Oilers, through 3 games, haven't had their best game, according to me and the captain, Connor McDavid. I think this will be the best version of the Oilers we'll see tonight.
I think for people who are neutral in another NHL cities, we just want to see them get back to the entertainment level of games 1 and 2. No more of these blowouts, Jason.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, guys, it was amazing hockey. Like that, yeah. 2 games, both go to overtime, the double overtime. Of course, it's Brad Marchand. Everyone hates him unless he's on your team. And so there's so much talent in these series. There's such, intrigue and different levels, and one team carries the momentum, then the other team does. So I really think that's what we're going to see here going through. And I think I was pretty naive to think this would be a quick series for either team. And so for the Oilers side, if they can get back, win tonight, you come home, and 2 out of 3 are at home after this. You feel pretty comfortable with that. But Florida's good. Man, are they good. And the Brad Marchand, I don't think we appreciated the level he could get to still. I think we were kind of counting him out, as far as what his level's at, and we were all wrong to do that.
My Oilers in 6 is looking a lot better than your Oilers in 5, Jason. Thanks for doing this, sir.
Yeah. You got to enjoy it. Let's look over some good hockey over the next 4 games.
Outstanding. Thanks, Jason. All the best.
Yes, sir.